Welcome to Wheelchair Vans Incorporated. Today we're going to be talking about this 2015 Toyota Sienna with a VMI Northstar conversion. Let's go and get started. To deploy out the ramp system, you want to use our OEM key fob remote. You want to go ahead and hold the passenger sliding door button for about 2 seconds. The sliding door will open up, the ramp will deploy out, and the car will lower itself.
I was gonna say, whatever, you need to do that. Yeah, I just gotta do it. Of course, I finally heard from the insurance guy.
He told me to submit everything to this website.
They don't have any problem.
In the back here, we have our third row bench seat with the footrest that can be lowered and raised. In the front seats here, we have the both driver and passenger seat, which are both removable. To remove either the driver or passenger seat, we want to go ahead and disconnect the seat harness. There's a little holder inside there as well. Grab the strap here, pull back, lift up, and slide out. The wheels on the bottom will pop out, and that way you can roll it right out. This vehicle was equipped with the QOK 150 in the passenger position. The way it would work is, as the wheelchair would come through, it actually will go ahead and lock in right over there. To release, there's a red button here, or you have a button right there where it says QOK 150. You either hit that and it'll release. So if I hit the button here, or release the chair. So you have about 10 seconds to back up the chair, or otherwise it'll lock again. If there is no wheelchair in the vehicle and you decide to drive the vehicle, so if I turn on the car here, you hear that alarm coming on. That alarm is telling you two things. Either there is no electric wheelchair there, or the electric wheelchair is not locked in correctly. If there is no electric wheelchair there, you can go ahead and hit the button here. You'll mute it, or let me go ahead and turn it on again. Once the wheelchair locks in all the way, I'm just going to do it by hand. It also will go off. In case of an emergency, if it does not release by pressing either one of the buttons, you can grab underneath here, hit this over, that also will release the lock. We want to put the driver or passenger seat back in the very front, we have these hooks here, which are going to mount onto those square bars there. And there's another one on that side there. Once the chair is straight, we're going to want to push it to where the bars will line up. On the bottom here, we have our lever here. I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And the chair will fall right down into its spot. We'll grab our connector here. There's a little marking there that indicates that's the top. We'll line it up and twist it back on. And I always will give it a little jiggle just to make sure it's in place. To operate the ramp system, we have a few buttons we can use. We can use the VMI button there. Up top, we have our button here for the passenger sliding door. We can also use our B-pillar switch here, or we can use our remote here. I'll go and use our panel switch here. Hit that once. Ramp system will go back in. Van will raise back up, and the sliding door will close. If the ramp system does not want to deploy, we have two ways of bringing the ramp out. Option one is to open up the power sliding door. Coming here is our sure deploy system. You want to go ahead and hold the sure deploy system. You're going to hear a long beep. Once the beep stops, You hear that intermittent beep. Now you can hit the ramp in or out. So if I hit ramp out, ramp will deploy out. If I stop it, I can hit the ramp in, ramp will come back in, and then you can close the door again. The sure deploy, to turn it off, either you can let it sit for about 15 seconds without touching it, it should turn off, or you can hit the sure deploy button again and it'll turn it off. Option number 2 to get the ramp in or out is grabbing our backup crank here, inserting it into the hole and popping out the cover. Next, we want to grab the little pin there, insert it inside the hole. Once you have the crank inserted, now you can go ahead and crank it and it'll bring the ramp in and out. In our trunk area, we're going to have our wheelchair tie downs, which are going to be located here. Underneath there, we have our spare tire, and our spare tire tools and jack would be located right inside of here. Taking a look at our securement system here, we're going to have 2 seatbelt buckles, and we're going to have 4 manual tie downs. With the 2 seatbelt buckles, one is going to be used for the mid-row position, one will be used for the front row position, depending on where the wheelchair is going to be set. So here we can see how the mid-row seatbelts will sit. You have the buckle that go into the floor, and you would use the original Toyota seatbelt, which will buckle in here, and depending on where the seat will go, this can be adjusted longer or shorter. Same thing goes with the front row position. This would go probably somewhere on this track here, and you'd use the original seatbelt to wrap around the person in the wheelchair if they're sitting in the front row. Now taking a look at the manual tie downs, we're going to have 4 of these. So they hook in. You'll line it up on the circles on the track, press down, slide, and you hear it click in. You can tug just to make sure it's securely locked in. To release it out, grab the black tab, pull up, slide out, and it'll come right out. To use the manual tie downs, you want to go ahead and release it by hitting this lever there. You can grab the hook, pull it to get more length. In this case, I'm just going to hook it up to the other one. You can hook it on there. You want to pull it nice and tight. And as you close this loop, it will tighten up the strap even more. And you want to make sure you have a nice solid securement on the wheelchair, and you want to do that on all 4. So we'll do one here, one here, one here, and one there, all going in the middle to secure a wheelchair down. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the driver's seat here. Put your foot on the brake, hit the button here. That'll go and turn on the engine. Down here, we're going to have our switches. This is our ramp on and off switch. So this will turn off the ramp system. This here will turn off our kneeling system, so the car will not go down. So if you're going to be deploying out onto a curb or in a residential area, you could turn that off. So that way the door will open, the ramp would come out, but the car will not lower itself. And then here we have our power sliding door off switch. So in case you had any door issues and the door did not open up correctly, you can always hit this off and open the doors manually. Here we have our blind spot monitoring to turn it on and off, our parking sensors to turn it on and off, window vent switch here. So if we pull this, we'll close the windows, the rear vents, and this will open them. Our window switches are here. We have our display here, turn signal here, light controls here. We're going to have our AC system here. These are all factory original Toyota. Control everything there. We could turn on the rear. We have our display center here. Nice backup camera. We have our heated seat options here. Driver side heated seat, passenger side heated seat. 12-volt power outlets here. USB ports are here. Radio. And there you have it. Beautiful 2015 Toyota Sienna with the VMI Northstar conversion.